Oh, you've gone pink.
We're live.
Cora. It's more Cora, but she won't say anything yet.
I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Madison School Board into session. Would you please call the roll?
President Holcomb,
Here.
Vice President Gresham,
Here.
Member Causey,
Here.
Member Spear,
Here.
Member Tom,
Here.
all are present.
Thank you. I would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda, or if anybody has any changes to the agenda.
I move that we adopt the agenda as presented.
I will second that motion.
Moved by Ms. Causey, second by Ms. Ms. Spear. Excuse me. Please vote. Oh, I gotta log in.
I'm still logging in. I vote aye.
Yeah, so was I.
We're just getting back.
Sorry about that. I was busy talking beforehand. And that passes unanimously. Our next item of business is a executive session. We do have a basis for an executive session this evening, so I entertain a motion to adjourn into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Spear, second by Ms. Thompson. Please vote.
It doesn't like my password. I vote aye.
That passes unanimously. We'll adjourn into executive session, then return to complete the regular session.
been to most of the places that you would know about. Yeah, as an adult, I still have camped a few times, but it's here. I was gonna go look at last week. Once I go with my neighbors, like they get family and they all get together, like, yeah, I should come. Where to go, but then. I'm gonna go to Mexico. Mexico's dead, but. We did a lot of beach.
It was nice and hot. It was very beachy summer.
Yeah, even Mexico, even though it's hot, it's not. It's humid, but not even bad. I'm a native, and I have to say that the summer is kind of.
Yes, I was telling people that this is like the 90s, where it was just outside.
Yeah, I can usually when people complain about being home, I'm like, yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's breaking me down that. So, I have to. I feel like my dad inherited this handicap parking thing because I was struck that I already lived. I just kept it. I said, this is my inheritance from my dad. I try not to take advantage of it, but I always park here or over there. There's so many there, so I was like, okay, just do that. But it got so hot. Yeah, and it's. I mean, I've had it for the last 6 years. I don't know. It's that hard plastic, you know?
Yeah, I've seen them,
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome awards. I don't know what kind of, is he from the kitchen? Yeah, he called, I talked to him about how it's done. So they just kicked that back. I didn't. Well, we did pay. And this is actually the reason why I have on the agenda. Is there a time on board box? Oh, that was in excess. It says 6. Six. All right. Yeah, 20 minutes. This will work better than the screen.
The IT, there's a wire, and I think it's that little, like, you know. After the voting. So, looking at it today, and hopefully not.
I do know where I sit. Hi.
Or the tennis ball and the good night. Explode. Leave no evidence.
I did. Luckily, I lived right across the street. I went home and changed. I was lunch duty was another level. But my watch says I got 20,000. It was such a great day, though. So I'm not gonna.
Duck at lunch duty?
I saw. He seemed happy. Yes, it was such a great day.
Yeah.
Yay.
You're so glad.
I don't know. Well, I mean, yes, but I feel like that's Adam and I were debriefing, and we have to sit through trainings and all that stuff. But then it's like a little overwhelmed by the information, and all of a sudden the kids come in. It was really good.
Good to see you smile. I'd like to reconvene this regular session of the Madison Elementary School Board meeting. This brings us up to item 3.2, the Pledge of Allegiance. Dr. Guerin, would you like to lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice
for all. It's now time for the superintendent's report. Dr. Guerin, the floor is yours.
President Holcomb, Vice President Gresham, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, I'd like to thank all of our staff, parents, and community members who supported our Madison students on their first day of school for the 2023-24 school year. I was able to visit all 8 sites today, and it was a wonderful first day in Madison. A special welcome to our newest Madison members, our preschool and kindergartners. And I did a little Google search, and these kindergarten students, when they graduate from high school, will be the class of 2036. Which is really remarkable. So welcome preschool, kindergarten, and all our new Madison families. I also want to welcome all our new staff members to the Madison family. Educational Services welcomed 52 new certified teachers in Madison, and they had a wonderful multiple day orientation. Madison is fortunate to have hired experienced teachers from other districts, as well as some individuals who have served as guest teachers who moved into permanent teaching roles, as well as some very young-looking first-year teachers. It has nothing to do with me aging. They're just getting younger. So welcome to Madison. Congratulations to Madison Park for moving into their incredible new state-of-the-art STEAM school. It was quite an exciting day, and you could hear the students and parents exclaim with joy just how beautiful it was. They were really excited. I'm so happy for the park community. The new school is featured in the latest edition of the Madison Scene. Should be delivered to your home soon. Please check out this edition. A sincere thank you to all who helped and participated in our Welcome Back event. Over 900 staff members coming together to celebrate the new year is an important time-honored tradition in Madison, and one I'm truly grateful for. We had to move the event at the last minute, and everyone behind the scenes didn't give up, made that happen, while also continuing to work on opening schools. And I just want to share how grateful I am. I want to welcome Principal of Madison Meadows, Katie Clark, to our official first in-person cabinet meeting. As you know, it's a tradition in Madison to have a sitting principal on the cabinet, and we really hear the voice of the building leaders, the teachers, the staff in making decisions, and it is so impactful. And this is the first district I've been in that has done that, and I can't say enough about it. So welcome, Ms. Clark. We are still hiring. So please check out our website. It is really fun to work at your neighborhood school, at your children's school. Dr. Lomeli will get you signed up. I'm sure she has contracts in her pocket. So thank you, everyone, for an incredible opening. I will have enrollment update for you in your weekly and the next board meeting. That's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Thompson?
Thank you. I just want to echo the thanks for the welcome back. It was, to be able to pivot that quickly. A special thanks to our partners at GCU for making the space available to us. Even our friends at Alhambra who are really willing to lend us buses if needed. It's just really wonderful to have those relationships and to be able to work that. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from staff about how wonderful they thought the day was. So kudos to everyone who helped put that together. I spent the morning at Madison Heights helping get kids out of the car for the first day of school and help shepherd people around campus. It was so nice to see people back on campus again. It felt like it did when my kiddos started kindergarten there a few years ago, and to have so many parents on the playground on the first day with their kids was really fantastic. So thanks for all the campuses to as they opened their doors to students today, but also to the parents who participated. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Ms. Kazi?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to add my accolades to everyone involved in ensuring the Welcome Back breakfast was a huge success. It was seamless. I loved my class I took. We didn't really want to leave, actually. We were in this room, and it was so relaxing. It was fabulous. So highly recommend it. I think he does classes once a quarter, and so he offered them to staff members. So I don't know if there's a way to communicate that, but everybody in the room just loved it. It was really fabulous. He's at Madison Meadows. He's one of their secret magic powers. So even though it was at GCU, it just seemed seamless. Yes, we had to get in a bus or in a car, but it went just so well. And it just almost felt like it was always going to be that way. So extraordinarily well done. And then just thank you to everyone who made the first day so successful. There's a joy that I felt today, and on social media and in talking to other people that I think maybe we were missing for a few years, that just was there today. And I think that says a lot about what this year is going to look like. Thank you.
Thanks. Ms. Spear.
Thank you. If anyone is watching our live stream and isn't a staff member, we are talking about our Welcome Back Breakfast, where we invite all of our staff members, every single employee of the district, to one place. We serve them breakfast and then offer the gifts that have been collected, donations that have been collected from community members, corporate partners, and staff members. Members of the board have donated. And so we were able to hand out prizes, gift cards, of the like. The other thing that was unique to this year's is we had staff members offer master classes. If there was a staff member that had a particular talent, let's say Pilaxing, which is a combination of boxing and Pilates, I took that one, and offered them to staff members: meditation, doodling, things that how many master classes were offered?
At least 18.
18 of them, and so we were all had an opportunity to sign up for these master classes, which was very unique. This is new from this year, and I found it to be so valuable to be in a room with Dr. Lomeli and the teacher, the administrative assistant who does Pilaxing on the side, and it was a really great opportunity for me as a board member, for me as a community member, to participate. And then I also wanted to say thank you to Jackie Goen for making, and to Ms. Humphreys for making all of this work on a last-minute basis, since we had to change locations due to our HVAC unit getting struck by lightning. So I just wanted to say thank you. And then this morning I was at Madison Park helping to direct traffic. There was a fair amount of it. And I would love to teach a master class to parents on teaching your child to tuck and roll when it's time to get out of the car. So that would be my takeaway from this morning, and hats off to everybody who made first day a great day. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gresham.
Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. Yes, the welcome back event was amazing. I believe that was the mastermind of Dr. Guerin with the master classes, so it was awesome. I did tap, and I think I'm just going to start sneaking into her classroom and doing tap because it was really fun. Yes, so thank you. Great job to everyone. And I was at Heights for a little bit this morning with Ms. Thompson, and a few tears, not too many, but and then I remembered to take my son to number 1. And yeah, so helped some kids find their classroom. So overall, yeah, it's a great morning. So thanks.
Yes. Yeah, thank you all. The Welcome Back celebration was truly a celebration this year. I mean, everybody, I think, we're really ready for it, pulling it off after literally getting struck by lightning. I think we have a theme for this year, lightning strikes. I mean, it is a great one. Yeah, it was so well done, but just the joy of people being together. I think everybody getting back together, having fun, that is one of the things that's so great about this. You see the culture that's been built by this administrative group, by everybody in Madison, and that just adds so much. And I'm glad to hear, I've been hearing reports of how great the first day at school was, how much they're having. Ms. Clark came in smiling ear to ear, and that's a good thing, instead of ducking. And it was, that is great. And I think this is going to be, season is starting. And before we have our next meeting, the Very Hungry Caterpillar will be starting. I was just looking at that. My tickets are for September 2nd. And I've got family coming in from Texas, and we can probably hopefully give them some culture that they can take back with them. But it is, and that's one of the positive changes. We're the first theater in the nation to have the Rockefeller Center have a residency. I looked at it, of Happy, Very Hungry Caterpillar. It's going to be here for 7 weeks, puppets, serving our community and the kids and the adults who wish they were still kids. I mean, it's just, it's phenomenal. So there's so much to look forward to. I'm very excited about this year. And with that, that brings us up to the consent items, or consent agenda. Does anyone have anything that they would like to have taken off the consent agenda? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
I'll second.
Moved by Ms. Thompson, seconded by Ms. Gresham. Please vote. I know. Oh, no, there it is. Look at it. Did everyone vote? And it passes unanimously. That brings us down to the call to the public. Is there any calls to the public?
We have no calls to public.
Oh, so we have no public to call. All right. Next up is information items. The Arizona School Board Association's Delegate Assembly proposed 2024 political agenda, one of the most exciting things we do every year. Dr. Gresham. Dr. Guerin, I'm sorry. Too many.
Our
It's been a
initials,
long day.
yes, Ms. Gresham and I, our initials are too close. President Holcomb, Vice President Gresham, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. So Ms. Thompson, Board Member Thompson has agreed to serve as our delegate, and Ms. Gresham is the backup. So this is your last chance to have input before she goes to the delegate assembly. And Ms. Humphreys has provided a copy of the information in front of you for your review.
You'll remember that back in May, members of the board, that we adopted our 5 issues for consideration. Broadly, they have to do with dedicated sources of base funding, recruitment and retention of highly qualified staff, both teachers and other support staff, consistent dedicated resources of capital funding, removing the cap of district additional assistance that's embedded, and the embedded inflationary factor annually, and also eliminating regulations, policies, and restrictions that overburden, criminalize, or politicize school districts, our staff, and educators. You'll also see attached the ASBA quite lengthy agenda for the year. I think you'll note that that our issues are embedded generally in their 2, 4, 6, 7-page agenda. But happy to take any direction from the board as we move toward the delegate assembly in just a few short weeks.
Does any member of the board have any comments they'd like to make or directions? Yes, Ms. Kazi.
I'd just like to say thank you and good luck.
I would also like to say the same and ask if you have any questions for us.
I don't have any questions, but appreciate the offer.
Okay, I have nothing else. Thank you.
If I may, I actually had to take a mental break from what I was doing this afternoon, so I sat down and looked at this. I do have a couple quick comments, if I can. First off, having been lampooned by this by the community, the second thing that they have on here, it's missing verbs. It's a mess, and this is an advertising piece in large part too, as well as going to put it forward. And educators, a group of school board, putting something forth that's that bad in the way it's structured, and that is just immediately causes problems. And I think they're looking at that. It is on the third one, and just these are things for you to consider. As you look at, instead of amend the constitutional aggregate expenditure limit, which is under I3, why aren't we advocating to eliminate it? It's it's unnecessary and outdated. I mean, the whole concept of it is wrong. And so I think that would be something that would be worth advocating for. On the next page, on number 7, they actually have two, I think, separate things put in the same clause. I think that's always a problem. If you look at it, there's 2 sentences, and they're really not, they are both related to funding, but they're really separate issues.
Yep.
Number 12 on that one, they have, again, this is just editing, but looking at this too. Besides, this gives you ammunition to go up there and make other people, just, they will love you by the end of the day if you go up and do this like they do me when I go. On number 12, it says provide full-time funding for preschool. I think they mean provide funding for full-time. I think the way they're looking at it, their order of words is wrong. And again, I think we need to work to make this as cohesive a document as possible. And just, this is a style of looking at it under 2.1, where they have, that they ensure local control and flexibility in managing funds and programs, given the Arizona constitutional requirements of a general and uniform public school system. It's a very important part of the Constitution. But I think instead of given, that seems to make it like it's a requirement. I think to fulfill, because it's a much more positive answer. Under 5 there, I have a question for this group is actually fairly in tune. Number 5 is maintain exclusive local authority over any measure that would propose to consolidate and or unify any number of school districts into larger districts. That was an issue a long time ago. Is that an issue is currently being circulated?
There have been, over the last number of years, Mr. President, conversations with some legislators about requiring either consolidation or breakup of districts. I think last year at the legislature, there was actually some legislation that would have required the 2 largest districts in the state to separate. So I think there has been conversations, and I think that's probably why it stays on there, because it's one of those continues to fester.
Okay, that's good to know, because we've had a major fight over unification quite a while ago, and so, but I hadn't seen it rear its ugly head for a while. On under 3, improve outcomes for all students, number 8. I very much like the change in the problematic. I thought what was there was very problematic. I'm not suggesting a change, but I think this is a really good one. It says rethink and redefine the role and purpose of standardized testing and develop meaningful assessments and other measurable outcomes. I think that was a real move forward, and that's over what they had. Under 4, 1, which is establish financial and academic transparency for all institutions and individuals that accept public funds, and seek recovery of improperly received and or expended public funds by charter and private schools and organizations. I think it's very important. But I think it's also very important to note, as we're talking about this and for the public to know, that already exists for standard public schools. We are very strictly controlled on expenditures and the recovery of anything that is improperly spent, and there's absolutely no control outside of the standard public schools.
There should probably be some broader language too, that is, anyone receiving public funds for the purpose of educating students, because it can be individuals, it can be parents, it can be organizations.
Right. Well, that's the other point. If you look at number 4, it says the same. It seems to be duplicative.
Yeah.
And they should try to put those together.
Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest. Ms. Kazi's been involved. I don't know, Ms. Spear, I don't know if you've ever served on the legislative committee. Yeah, you have. And I ever done the tour. This seems to be one of the more sloppy in just the way it's put together, and I don't know if it was rushed at the end of the way, because the language in things like this, I think, is and structure is very important. Ms. Spear?
I would agree. I had a chance to look through this, and I'll be honest, I have a hard time spending, I have to force myself to spend a lot of time on this. I wonder sometimes about ASBA's effect at the state legislature when they go with, a document this lengthy and with duplicative agendas, 4 and 1 are the same. And I agree, it looks as though there were multiple people that participated in creating this document, and then there wasn't one set of eyes that looked through it. And that's very frustrating as a school board member if this is supposed to be my representative body. I find it embarrassing that there would be a legislative agenda that is poorly written, is duplicative, and says things like support policy that encourages all eligible voters to exercise their right to participate in elections. That's not an ASBA mandate. That's unnecessary. It's wasting precious space on a page and mind share of legislators. And all this does is it undercuts any legitimacy that ASBA has to represent us, me, as a school board member, and I find it very, very frustrating. So I just wanted to kind of share that, and I agree with you. This is not what it has been previously. Albeit previously, it was long and verbose, and in my mind, when you get, brevity is critical when you're talking about lobbying. I am not a lobbyist. I don't profess to know how to make all that work, but I have done my fair share of being down at the legislature, and brevity is critical. The attention span is that you get with a legislator is very short. Education is one of many, many issues that they deal with. And so I really hope that we're able to impart some of that, some of those notions on the lobbying team, and I really do appreciate you being our representative. Thank you.
Ms. Kazi?
So I've served on the legislative committee for the ASBA in the past, and I will say that a fair amount of what the political agenda looks like is dependent on who the chair of that committee is and who the members of that committee is, because we meet one day in June and write this by committee, which is why you have some of what you have. And so I think just built into the process they've created allows for the creation of an agenda that is not as tight or I think as well thought out as it could be.
Yeah. Ms. Gresham?
Real quick, thank you, Ms. Thompson. And if anybody else wants to be the alternate, just I'm willing to let that go. Yes, notwithstanding all the typos, I'm hoping somebody tightens this up before the meeting in September. I do like, though, that some of the language got a little stronger. It's like, taking out when possible, like, no, just do. Yes, more direct. And also, I do like Mr. Holcomb's comment on the first page about instead of amending the AEL, eliminate it, because that is something I would definitely support. So we need that. But that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. I think what I think is missing, and by the way, there are some very good things here. There's some very powerful things, and there were word changes that were made, because I picked out just a few of them. There's a number of them here. And if you remember, this board actually tried a number of years ago to try, and we were successful for about 2 years in getting it put down and talk with, okay, this is our short-term goals or long-term goals, and restructuring it, and it didn't last, unfortunately. And normally on the committee, there are several people who are looking at the overall agenda, then going back and saying, hey, we've got duplication here, we make this go. That seems to be missing in some of this. My last comment, and specific on that, is under item 6, school safety and security. 1 and the second sentence of 2 are also duplicative. I do believe. But And it is frustrating, but it does serve, a purpose. It is to give direction to the School Boards Association. The other thing that I would hope we could really try to bring a rallying cry is to get them, and they're very stuck on parliamentary procedure, but to the extent you can push it, I believe they tend to be more reactive than active, and that's where we fall down. There is a whole industry now that is writes legislation against public schools and about a number of issues that impact it, and they're out there marketing and pushing it real hard. We don't have that same push in favor of the public schools. And I think that shows in a lot of things that happen. And I'd really like them to be pushed to be more proactive than just reactive. That's my own thoughts. Any other closing thoughts? I don't want it out to the public too. It's just, we do appreciate that ASB is out there trying. And really we just want them to do the best they can, and because this is so important. Do you have anything else, or have you gotten enough?
I was just going to say that on the first page, under Roman 1, number 2, what they plopped in there with their typos, with duplicate Romans, they pulled from our language of our first top priority. So even though they didn't make the technical corrections, so it would be consistent, I think it's nice that they put that language in there front and center at the top of the agenda around funding, and I think that's going to be it's going to be an important fight next year because of challenges with the upcoming budget.
Yeah, no, the issue is important. That makes it all the more important that it be presented in a way that makes it look like it is important. And thank you for pointing that out. If there are no other comments, I'll take us to item 8.1, discussion regarding future meetings. Dr. Guerin.
Thank you. President Holcomb, members of the board, cabinet, and guests, our next board meeting will be August 22nd. I will make sure to have an enrollment update with comparative numbers from prior years, school by school. In addition, Ms. Marshall's department will share parent survey results from the spring. And you remember we partnered with Hanover Survey on that, so really excited to get that information. We will have some board policy reads, and again, Barb Marshall has been the queen of board policy changes and will continue to do so. So we will talk about curriculum development, adoption, textbooks, supplementary material, and administrating medications to students. Ms. Garvey's department will also talk about the lease agreement for Madison Highland Prep. Yes.
I was just going to, that triggered my memory now that the legislature finally adjourned. I know we're in a bit of an odd spot with legislation going into effect the day before Halloween, and probably, we're not at the beginning of a school year where it's so easy to say there's a week between when legislation will go into effect. So I think it's going to be important to telegraph any changes to the community that are made based on those laws that go into effect really most of the way through the fall semester.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson. And I've noticed in Ms. Marshall's training that she has already been addressing some of the things long before they go into effect. It's a proactive approach that we have in Madison, but it's a very good point related to communication as well. And then in September, you did just cancel a study session at the end of August because we're really excited to have a different format for the school integrated action plans. It just seems to be really difficult to try to pair them right with a board meeting. So on September 5th, we'll have a study session for the elementary schools, and then that evening we will have a board meeting. And so I think that is enough for tonight. get us through to September.
Any questions, concerns, just I wanted to confirm on my calendar, because we had a conflict. We did have one of those study sessions that we moved to the afternoon.
Yes.
It's not the one on the 5th. is it?
Right, it's the second one. So I will make sure that I think your calendar already reflects that change, but I will verify that and also put it in the next board update.
Yes, and I had a conflict, and I appreciate everyone's willingness to change that. And I just want to remind you, you get to enjoy a meeting without me actually being here. I will hopefully be able to get on from Alaska on there. That's the one day I'm hoping my internet works well. The rest of the time, I'm hoping it's just miserable, but that day I hope it works well. And nothing else to add to the calendar or questions? With that, then I will entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved?
Second.
Moved by Ms. Thompson, seconded by Ms. Kazi. All those in favor, please vote. Or even if you're not in favor, please vote. And that passes unanimously. We are adjourned.
And the first day's in the books.
Yes.